Hello everybody, it's Andy from AM Media Games. In this quick tutorial I'm going to show you how to set up a play, a pause and a reset play from start basic tape record system. It doesn't have recording functionality, so you won't be able to speak into the mic and then hear yourself play it back. It's just a basic player message in your game. So let's say you're walking through your level and you come across the tape recorder and you press play and you can listen to like a bit of lore about backstory and stuff like that. So I'm going to show you how it works, how it looks when it's finished. This is just placeholders. You can obviously add your own buttons and your own model as well. So I've used an A, B, C, D, E, F, G kind of sound effect that I got off Soundly, that you can see is open down at the bottom of my screen next to Substance Painter. So I used that file just so I can show you that it's paused. So I'll show you now.
A, B, C, D, E, F.
So now we're on F. So the next letter should be
G, 8.
So the pause button, excuse me, the pause button works perfectly fine. And we also have a reset play from start. So when we click the reset button, it'll wipe the current paused sound file, and then when we press play again, it will go back to the start and press and start that sound from the start. So if I unpause it,
I, J, K.
So the next letter should be L, but let's reset. So it's reset the sound file. We'll go back to play.
A, B, C, D,
so
E.
We have play, pause, unpause, and reset, go back to start. So let me show you how I set this up. So first of all, we have the Blueprint interface system that is at the backbone of this, getting it to work. So the only things that I have in here are my 3 static meshes, which are these ones. Each one of these has its own unique tag. So if we go to the details panel, so this is just a static mesh cube. There's nothing like important about these at all. They're just static mesh cubes. So if I go to tag, we can see here that this cube has a tag of play. This one has a tag called pause, and this one has a tag called reset. Now we name them accordingly because it makes it a lot easier to remember which one's which. So we have our our 2D text render. Just above, we've got play, pause, and reset. I should actually name this one. Let's do, we'll do un. So un slash, so we know that it's a pause, unpause. There we go. So that's play, pause, unpause, and reset. Excuse me. Sorry about my cough. So we have that all set up. Let me just quickly save that. So we have our default scene route, we have our A, B, C, D, E, F, G, our alphabet audio. I only use that one just so I can show you that it's paused. It's a little bit easier to demonstrate pausing when it's so linear. So we've got our A, B, C, D, E, F, G audio, we've got our pause static mesh, we have our reset from start one, which is the red one, and we have our play. So we've got 3 cubes, 3 lots of text renders, and a sound file. That is all you need. So 1 sound file, 3 text renders, and these 3 cubes. Now you can change these to a model. You could use your own model. You can have like a tape recorder spool spinning as well, just to show that it's working. You could just use a make rotator node. So I'm going to go into the event graph. Excuse me. I'm going to go into the event graph, and we have here my use open close interface. Now a Blueprint interface is one of these. So if we go into blueprints, we go to interface, and then we name this one use open close test. So this is all I've done, is just created one of those. So let me go use open close. There we go. It's this one here. So when I double click that, we have a new function. That's when you're going to name it to use open close, and then you're going to click on call in editor, save it, and come out of that. I have got a link that I'll post in the comment section, and I'll pin it as well, which is how to set up a blueprint interface line trace system for these codes to work. So bear in mind, I am on 5.1.1. Sometimes things don't work in 5.3 and 5.2, but when you start a new project, it seems to work. It's very strange. I can't explain it. It's just a bug, maybe, I don't know. But the code works fine in 5.1. So let's go back to the tape player. So we have my event use open close. So I went to class settings. Down here where it says implement interfaces, this is where you want to select your blueprint interface interaction system. So you've got your implemented interfaces, and you're going to click add, and then you're going to search for the one that you named it. If you named yours the same as mine, then that's fine. You can search for that one. Don't try and look for this one, because if you didn't name it the same, it won't exist. This is what I called mine when I created it. So we call that function by event use open, and we can see it here. It should have this little blueprint interface symbol here. And then what we want to do out of that is we're going to get a cast to your first person character. If you're using a first person character, make sure you use the cast to first person. Your object for this one, just bear with me 1 second. Excuse me. So your object for this one is going to be your get player character, and the return value of this node is going to go into your object. So that's that bit done. Let's move that to there. Out of your BP first person character, you're going to get the reference to your first person camera. Now I named mine FPP for first person perspective. So this is my camera name. I renamed my camera to FPP, so yours might be called something different. So whatever your first person character camera is, the one that gives you your view reference when you're playing in your game, that's what you want to call here. Out of this, you're going to get a get world location and a get forward vector. Your get forward vector is going to go into a multiply. Sometimes when you connect up a multiply, let me show you what I mean. So let's open one up. Sometimes when you connect it up, you'll end up with this one. This is a multi-precision and this is a single precision. So what you want to do is right click, convert, and you'll have an option here that will say single precision, and that's what, then it'll look like this once you select it. So after the multiply, you're going to get an addition node. Make sure you connect them exactly the same as this. So get world goes into A, get forward vector multiply goes into B, and then the plus, you want to add an addition node, add node, and then that's going to go into your end of a line trace for objects. So I'm going to get world location is going to go in the start of a line trace for objects. So you're going to get a line trace for objects, this one, not this one. And this is the distance to which it will render that line. So let me go to persistent and then go in. So if I click on reset, this line is 250 units from my character to the box. So that point to this point is 250 units. So around 2.5 meters. So this, when you're measuring or when you're putting the distance in, you can just click on persistent and then to see, kind of get an idea of how far or close you want to be able to interact. Yeah? Okay, so let's turn that off. Once we've got this part set up, we're going to move on to our line trace. So in our line trace, we have quite a few options available to us. We've got ignore self, which we need to uncheck because we don't want it to cause self collision. We want it to ignore itself. And then out of object types, we're going to get make array. So we're just going to do that and then make array, and you'll see that option there, make array. Set it to world dynamic. Okay, so that's that part done. And then out of the return value, we're going to get a branch, just one like this. So we're going to hold B for Bravo, left click, and get yourself a branch. The return value goes into the branch, and the execute pin goes into the input pin on the branch. So just like this and just like this. Okay, so let's delete that. So that's going to go like this. Okay, so on the out hit, this blue output pin here, on our out hit we're going to get break hit results. So we're going to drag out of this and go break, and then we have a hit result. And then your hit result box, when you first see it, will kind of look like this, but you won't be able to see hit component. So what you want to do is make a little bit of space, click on the drop down box, find hit component, which should be somewhere near hit actor, the third blue one out of the three. And this is where your tags come into play. So now that we've got our hit components, we can then add component has tag 3 times, and we're going to name them the same as what we named these. So we've got pause, reset, and we have play. So play, reset, pause, or pause, reset, play. So I'll give you a second to set these up. So you're going to drag out of this, get component has tag. Once you've done that and you've set these 3 up, when you go onto your excuse me, when you go onto your static meshes, you're going to go to details, tag, and that's where it has to match perfectly. So whatever you write in these boxes has to match in the tag of these boxes here on your component has tag. So you click the plus, it'll drop down one that says none, and then you're just going to type in a name. So let's I didn't mean to delete that. There we go. So as long as this matches this, so this one is pause, so this one has to have pause in here, and it has to have pause in here, because this is going to try and look to see if the component hit by the line trace shares the same tag. If so, it can fire off this code. If it doesn't, then it will fire off this code if it's reset. If it doesn't have that one, then it will fire off this code. Okay, so now that we've done that part, and we've done our branch, and we have our, so we've got our line trace for objects finished, we have our break hit result finished, and we've done our components have tag. So we should have these 3 with nothing connected and a branch. This is where you should be up to. So the next thing we're going to do is add a second branch. So B, left click. Once we've got our second branch in, we're going to connect it up like this. So we're going to get our play, return value into the branch condition. Out of true of our first branch is going to go into the input of the the second branch. And then you're going to set up a third branch and a fourth branch before we do the rest of the code. So let's not jump too far ahead. So let's set up this first, then this one, and then this one. So the next one we're going to do is our next branch. Out of the false of our second branch, we're going to connect that into the third branch, into the input pin. The return value of our reset is going to go into the condition. Out of the false of the third branch, this one is going to go into a fourth branch. If you look, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this one, our pause return value goes into the condition of this branch. Okay, so let's leave it like that for a second. You can pause it. Okay, let's move on. Excuse me. Okay, so that's kind of why I don't record a lot of videos, because my cough sometimes gets really bad. So on our branches, we have our true and false. We already have hooked up our falses, so the false gate on our branch is already hooked up. So now we're going to go out of our true, and we're going to connect that into a do once. So out of the second branch, not the first, but the second branch, out of true into a do once. You can hold O for Oscar and left click to get a do once node quickly, or you can right click and search for it. Once we've connected the true to the do once, out of completed, we're going to set up our first part of the sound file. So we're going to go up here into our components. We're going to drag out. We're going to drag out of our audio file and get a play node. Excuse me. Okay, so now that we've got that, it's going to look like this when we tidy it up. So we know that this is the play sound section. And out of the completed, we're going to set this so it looks like this. So we're going to delete that one. So we're going to go completed into the play. That's that part done. Out of the third branch, 1, 2, 3. So this is going to be our reset component. Out of the third branch on the true, it's going to get a little bit more complicated because we need to also reset for when we reset, right? So this is the reset one. So the third branch out of true, we're going to go into our sound file. So we're going to grab our sound file. We're going to go to set paused, and we're going to get this node, audio, set paused, and we're going to uncheck it because we don't want it checked. So it's going to look like this. Nice and tidy. So the set pause is going to go in here, and then we're going to get a stop as well. So we're going to get a stop. So copy this. Out of this one, we're going to get a stop. This is going to stop all sound, including any paused audio, allowing us to correctly reset the audio file. So it's going to go set paused, false, stop, just like this one. Out of the stop, we're going to go to the reset above of the do once, and then that's done, and then we're going to go to our final branch. So 1, 2, 3, this one, the fourth one, which is going to be our pause option, and out of the true, we're going to get a flip-flop, the funniest sounding node in Unreal. So we're going to get a flip-flop node, and this is going to enable to pause and unpause the audio track. So out of true, we're going to get a flip-flop node. So flip-flop, oops, spell it right, there you go. So we've got a flip-flop node, and this is going to go A, B, A, B. It'll always go from one to the other, from one to the other. It'll do A first, and then it'll flip to B, then it'll flop back to A, then it'll flip back to B. So it'll always flip and flop between each one, right? So once we've set that up, we're going to go A into set paused. So the same again, you're going to get your audio file. You can drag and drop set paused. And then you can just copy and paste this one because it's twice. So it's going to be matching like this and like this. So this A is going to go into this one, B is going to go into this one. This one's going to be true, pause. This one's going to be false, not paused. And then we're going to compile it and save it. So it should look something like this. So we'll quickly go back through. Event, use, open, close. Cast to first person character. Target is our character's camera. Get world location, get forward vector. Plus and multiply, end and start. World dynamic, hit component. We've got components tags. First branch, second branch, third branch, and fourth branch. Out of the second branch, we have our do once and play sound. Out of our second branch, we have our set unpaused and reset stop sound audio, which then enables us to press play again, and it will play sound audio file from the start. Out of our fourth branch, out of the true, we have our flip-flop, set paused, unpaused. Yeah? Okay, so that's all done. The only thing as well that you need to make sure that is done, if we go onto our static mesh and we have a look at collision, so we can see there we have collision. We've got this little green box, so you can click up here and check simple and complex. And then if we go down to our collision properties, we want block all, and we want use simple collision as complex. This one. And then save it, close, and if we go into game, If we click play,
A, B, C, D,
let's pause.
E,
And then we want to, if we click play, nothing will happen because the do once node isn't reset. So if we unpause it,
F, G,
and then if we reset, and then we play,
A, B,
pause,
C,
reset, play.
A, B, C, D.
Okay, so that concludes this video. I hope that made sense. If anybody has any questions on that, let me know in the comments. You have a fully working functional tape recorder there, so you can play audio, you can pause audio, unpause audio, reset, go back to the start, play and listen to it again. So it's really good for telling stories, recording your dialogue, audio files, or like hidden objects where you click on it, kind of like Alien Isolation and other games like I think I'm not too sure actually. I've not played horror games for a while, but you know what I mean. So yeah, any questions, leave them in the comments. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helps you. Please help the channel by hitting that like button to help out with the YouTube algorithm. Consider sharing it to other people that may need it, and obviously subscribe as well. It's a free way to support me for supporting you guys, and I really do appreciate you. So thanks very much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.